all the Twitter fingers who's got deals that we need to make can kind of just shut up a little bit.
All the Twitter fingers who've got trades they think we need to make can just shut up a little bit.
Moody out of the corner, hits a three, and draws the foul!
No, he was pointing at the official. He almost ghosted him like Steph.
After getting into a back and forth with users on X, the Warriors have been a little different. Moody out of the corner, hits a three and draws the foul. Look at him pointing at the official make us. He's got that swagger now. This Golden State Warriors team that we are watching is not the same as what we've been seeing for the past few months. It is official, the Jimmy Butler era in Golden State has begun. Ever since they traded for Jimmy Butler, the Warriors began to advance in a completely new trajectory. You see it in the numbers, you see it in the results, but more importantly, you see it on the court. Now make no mistake, what the Warriors needed was never simply a pen and paper trade. Even though that's what it looks like, there's a lot more to it than simply sticking a superstar like Jimmy next to Steph Curry. More than that, the Warriors have decided that they do not want to lose. This mentality is what they started the season with, something which they lost partway through but seem to have recovered with the addition of Jimmy. They're playing harder, fighting for loose balls, and making an overall better team effort. One question we didn't ask at the beginning of the season is whether that type of effort was sustainable. The players genuinely believed they had a chance to win back then, but whatever was in the locker room disappeared after that loss to the Brooklyn Nets. That game was pivotal for Golden State, as they never seemed to fully recover Makus, even going so far as to add Dennis Schroeder as a starting point guard, but never truly realizing much gain from his addition. The leadership in the locker room was clearly devastated, and with the team's record, confidence fell. The veterans looked lost, and the young players were starved for direction. In comes one of the league's toughest leaders, one of the most brilliant players currently in the league without question. Don't put that on my damn team. Butler lands into the lap of the Warriors. Even if they weren't sure what Butler brought to the table before, after Jimmy took one of the clipboards from the assistant coaches, it was clear what time it was in. And the rest of the team truly stepped up. This is what Golden State has been missing. Someone who doesn't just talk about winning but demands it with every possession. Butler brings an edge that can't be taught. When your young guys see a 5-time All-Star diving for loose balls and challenging teammates in practice, it changes the entire culture. And that's exactly what's happened. The Warriors have gone from a team searching for identity to one that knows exactly who they are and what they want. So what are some of the differences we're seeing? What started this, and is this level of play sustainable for the Golden State Warriors? Keep watching to find out. Before that, however, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Switch Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to see exactly why the Warriors are just different. Back in the middle of January, in the middle of swirling trade rumors, Steph Curry made headlines when both he and Steve Kerr stated that the franchise should not make desperate trades that deplete the future of the franchise at the upcoming deadline. This sparked an entire discourse as to whether or not Steph Curry wanted to actually compete for a championship. This was seen as Steph Curry being passive and trying to ride out the next few seasons with a team that isn't competitive, one where they don't put any pressure on the front office to make moves to help the team win. That was probably a bit shocking to Steph, as he likely meant something else. When you think about it, clearly Steph believes in the franchise and values the team more than anyone who was begging to trade away all the team's assets for a chip or bust season. In short, along with being a player, he's a Warriors fan who doesn't want to see the team fall into obscurity even after he leaves. But social media doesn't exactly work in a rational manner, and he had to clarify. So a few days later, after edging the Minnesota Timberwolves 116-115, Steph Curry in a post-game interview made a comment regarding Twitter fingers, referring to users of Elon Musk's X platform.
You made some headlines the other day when you said that you didn't want the Warriors to go out and just be kind of rash, trying to make some improvements for this team as we get closer to the trade deadline. What type of confidence do you think that instilled in the guys to hear you say that, to say, yeah, we still got some dudes and we can go out here and win some games?
Nobody's complacent here. Nobody is okay with just being average. The Twitter fingers who's got deals that we need to make can kind of just shut up a little bit and let us figure this thing out. Like we know we can be competitive.
These comments rekindled leadership in the locker room by instilling confidence, as it became clear the team knew how talented these players were, had no intention of trading them to simply move on from them, and needed them to step up. But what followed was likely even more instrumental in the Warriors becoming a more competitive team. Steph Curry not only talked the talk, he walked the walk as well, embodying the leadership mentality he shared, leading on the scoreboards and not just in the locker room. This was key in the front office trade decision. While a lot of people thought that trading for Jimmy was a bad idea, it wasn't because Jimmy wasn't talented or couldn't help the team, and Steph Curry in this comment clearly emphasized that, but let me reiterate and make it obvious, trading away Jonathan Kuminga to get Jimmy Butler was not the right move. Trading for Jimmy Butler while keeping Jonathan Kuminga is indeed having your cake and eating it too. This was the holy grail. Could this team, as is let's say without JK, win a championship? It's possible, but it would be a lot more difficult. Without Kuminga, the Warriors become a lot less athletic and play with a much more limited ability to execute certain plays. While JK has some traits of Butler, the two next to each other could unlock something special for this team. Two power wings able to attack and score at will and get to the free throw line. This is the type of pressure defenses struggle to keep up with. Then to add to that, having one of the greatest players of all time, the undisputed greatest shooter to have ever played the game, Stephen Curry casually hanging out at the perimeter being guarded by one or two players. Golden State will feast. This was the vision. Jimmy Butler made a name for himself with the ability to not just lead a team but motivate them as well. Not just 2 weeks after joining the team, Jimmy was already displaying the type of leadership the Warriors needed. You put a player of his caliber IQ off the charts, next to Curry, Kuminga and Draymond, and the Warriors are going to be a problem. You're seeing a team that blew out a healthy Sacramento Kings by 20+ points. The defensive identity that Butler brings is what sets this apart. Watch how he locks up LaVine, completely demoralizing. If your best guy can't score, you're in trouble. Because Butler's such a smart defender, he easily guards positions 2 through 5. This demon next to Draymond Green, that's a nightmare for any offense to deal with. But that's enough about these guys. What about the young players that we see stepping up? Podziemski and Moody elevated and were played in the starting lineup ahead of Buddy Hield. Moody has started 8 games this season for the Warriors, and they've won every single time. His 22-point outburst against the Kings shows his growth and increased confidence. He's putting up 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.5 steals, while shooting 36% from 3 in 31 minutes. With this lineup of Curry, Butler, and Draymond, Moody can be who he is, a slashing finisher and knockdown shooter with that Klay Thompson mentality. Podziemski seems to have gotten out of his slump too, putting up 14 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists over his last 5 games. The big question will be how Kerr manages these two when Kuminga returns. Who stays in the starting lineup? The last question, however, is this: will they be able to maintain this level of play for the rest of the season to make the playoffs? Last season, the Warriors went 16-9 in their last 25 games. They did not have Jimmy Butler, and outside of the Timberwolves, the Warriors also have the easiest remaining schedule. The prior year wasn't bad either, where they went 15-9, and the year before that, they won the championship. With Kuminga's return, it's not infeasible that they go 21-9. In short, yes, this is very sustainable for the home stretch. A 50-win Warriors team with Butler and Curry both ready to carry the team is not something an opponent wants to see in the playoffs. The Warriors aren't just different lineup, they're dangerous again, but don't let my word be the last on this. The Warriors aren't just different lineup, they're transforming right before our eyes into a championship caliber team again. With Butler's leadership, Curry's brilliance, and young players stepping up, Golden State has found their identity at exactly the right time. This team has everything they need to make noise when it matters most. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Warriors can make a deep playoff run with this new lineup? Just be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. The Warriors are different now, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for watching. Till next time.